Welcome to Blissfully Ambitious, a podcast for women who are ready to drop the struggle, align with their soul, and reach their divine potential. I'm your host, Ashlina. I'm a spiritual lifestyle blogger, feminine energy expert, and mentor. I also design jewelry, crystal, high vibe jewelry, and I'm a new mom doing my best to balance it all and follow my bliss. Hello, beautiful friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Blissfully Ambitious podcast. I'm your host, Ashlina, here with you today. Episode 5 out of 5 of the self-love series. I have loved creating this series because I just feel like there's so much talk out there about self-love and nobody really gets it. It's almost this like intangible, inexplainable verb. And I just think the more conversations about it, the more we talk about it, the more that you can sort of develop your own understanding of what it means for you. So I have loved creating this for you. Thank you guys for listening. This is the 5th and final episode of this self-love series. And then we're going to get into some very exciting things this month. So I can't wait for you guys to see what I have in store. Okay, so this episode is my first episode in May. We are kicking off a very strong May 2022. I like to think of it as main character energy May, manifestation May. In the monthly membership, the House of Bliss Manifest Bliss membership, May is all about the throat chakra. So we have kind of gone over a chakra series, and the throat chakra is the energy center. It's your spiritual energy center of manifestation, which is really, really cool. The throat is your word, what you speak, what you express, how you say, how you ask for what you want, and how you create it. So it's a very exciting month we have in store. I always invite you guys to join us inside the membership if you have not already. It's $55 a month, but there's no commitment. There's no contract. You can just stay for a month if you want. There are hundreds of videos and workbooks and hours of content for you to dive into in 2022. The membership has gotten a full makeover, and I'm in the process of even creating more. So it is so much fun. It's kind of like a Netflix of self-development and spirituality, and you get a whole group of women to boot. A whole slew of new friends who love, metaphysics, who love manifestation, who love spirituality, and really love femininity and feminine energy. So if you are looking for a new sort of group to network with and even grow your own business, this is the group for you. We have so much fun, and we do 2 to 3 coaching calls a month where we're live and we hang out, and we're planning right now a retreat. So it's going to be very, very exciting. Okay, let's get into today's episode. So today in this final series, I want to recap just a little bit of what we've gone over in this series. We started off by understanding that you are not your past, and you can kind of drop everything from your past. You don't have to bring your past into your future. In the second episode, we sort of learned about what it means to be multifaceted and how self-love is about loving every part of yourself, not just trying to fit yourself into a box. Like, you are meant to be multidimensional. So accepting that and really like coming to that self-acceptance, part of it. It's also about shifting yourself out of difficult times, of setbacks, and understanding that there is gold in every life crisis and every life moment. Your setback is your best set up for your comeback. And then in the 4th episode, we talked about unapologetically up-leveling and setting boundaries for yourself and what that looks like to edit your life and how to be sort of a magazine editor of your life magazine, your life movie. It's very main character energy vibes. And so this 5th episode, to kick off main character energy May, this 5th episode of the self-love series is all about being the main character in your life. the star of your movie. And this is what sets you up for effortless manifestation and really designing a life that you love, creating a life that you have always wanted, and putting you in the energy to do so. So we're going to talk about the mindset shifts that you need to make. And the biggest mindset shift, and the first thing I want to show you, is that I want you to know that becoming a main character means shifting your focus off of everything and everyone else and turning it back on yourself. This is a huge up level. It is a huge code. It is a huge shift that you have to make internally. And it is always to go within. It is always to do your inner work. It is always to take full responsibility for your life and how it shows up. One of the things that I see so often with, you guys in my community, or, new people or new clients, or even friends, just people in the world, there's a really hard time with letting go of blaming other people or being the victim. Maybe you are looking for a new job and you're having a really hard time, and you're like, it's just the market. There's too many other people out there, or, there's not enough jobs out there. You're always sort of blaming outside circumstances for why you don't have what you want yet. The second that you take responsibility and turn your focus within in what it is that you are doing, you take your power back. In that instant, in that moment, when you shift your focus from the outside world to within you, you take your power back. You become the main character of your life. So let's use this job, for example. Let's say you're looking for a job, you're having a hard time finding a job, or you want a new job, you're miserable in your job, that kind of thing, right? But nothing seems to be clicking for you, and you keep blaming, or you keep saying it is outside forces or circumstances. And then you shift it into yourself. You want to start looking at, what energy am I giving off, right? What skills am I lacking? Or what skills could I use to brush up on? What courses could I take to enhance my, abilities, to enhance my repertoire, my resume? Do I need to brush up my resume? Like, what could you do working on yourself that would put you in a better position to create that job or to attract that job? I was recently working with somebody who was looking for a job, and she was going on all these interviews, and she felt like she was doing great, and she was preparing for each company and really studying each company, studying what they wanted and being what everybody wanted. But she wasn't getting the job. She wasn't getting those offers. And somebody outside of her, she was working with a career coach, and he said to her, all of these people have actually given them feedback on her, and they've kind of said the same thing. Her energy was off. Which to me was so funny to hear her say that and to her tell me that, because it truly is about your inner work. It's never about your resume. It's never about the requirements a job needs, and this goes for anything in life, right? It is always about what you are bringing to the table, the energy that you bring. When you have a high self-worth and you love yourself and you're focused on you, you're taking responsibility and accountability for creating your life and being the main character of your movie, you are going to have a more confident, polished, magnetic energy, and you're doing all that inner work, you're going to go and get the job. So I actually worked with her a little bit. We shifted her energy a little bit, and within the week that I worked with her, by the end of the week, she got a job offer. Now, to me, this was it just was kind of confirmation that your energy is everything. And when you take the focus off of other people, like when she went for job interviews, she was studying the companies, studying their history, studying what they needed and all of their requirements. What we did to shift her energy was doing inner work. Encourage her to start working out a little bit, taking time for herself, getting enough rest, really meditating on what she wanted, journaling about what type of job would really work for her, getting really clear, doing all the inner work things. It's all the things that we do inside my coaching and then inside of the Manifest Bliss membership. It's the inner work. When we stop looking at things that we need to do outside of us, people we need to change, circumstances we need to change, situations that we need to change, and we do the inner work, we shift everything. And when they say what you focus on expands, when we're focused on things outside of us, those things seem to expand. When we focus on what is within us and ourselves, we will expand. Our capacity to receive will expand. So it is falling in love with yourself, falling in love with taking care of yourself, falling in love with becoming obsessed with yourself. Just imagine that, like in a relationship, in a falling in love relationship. When you fall in love, you are like obsessed with that other person. You think about them all the time. You're dreaming of them. You're idealizing them. You're romanticizing who they are. You're looking at all of their qualities and saying, oh my goodness, that's so cute. Like the way he slurps his food, right? Oh, it's just precious. I love the way he moves his hair. I love the way he does this or that, right? We kind of like fall in love with that person, everything they do. So when we do that to ourselves, we turn the spotlight and the focus on us and we fall in love with ourselves. That is the vibe that we have for ourselves. You want to study the way you move your hair and be in awe of it. You want to look at how you do things and fall in love with that. And maybe that means you need to tweak what you're doing. Maybe that means you need to change what you're doing. Maybe that needs you, if you're not loving the way you do something, it's taking the time for yourself, slowing down enough and go, how can I start showing up differently? How can I start doing this in a way where I am in love with it? To where you look at all the things in your life, all the things that you do, all the things around you, and feel that in loveness. A big part of that, a big part of my mission and my passion has always been the home. Always. I created my brand Blissful Living really around this. And it is surrounding yourself with things that you love so as to fall in love with your life. Looking around your home. And I want you, whenever you're home, if you're not home right now or wherever you are, whatever environment you're in, look around it and see how many things you can find that you are like in love with. Now, when it comes to your home, you want to be in love with everything. And if you're not in love with it, you want to make the updates to fall in love with it. This is what my course, High Vibe Home, is all about. My Blissful Babe Blueprint is a bundle that I created of my courses that actually help you to find that self-love, to fall in love with your life, to become balanced and blissful. We start with like High Vibe Home. Then we have Soul Aligned, and we begin to fall in love with the way that your energy is on the inside of you, like your body, your internal energy, your spirituality. It's getting your soul in alignment. It's falling in love with your soul. And then to top it off, I have my course in there, the Feminine Frequency. Because here's what happens. Here's the feminine part. It's the main character part. It's turning your spotlight, turning your focus onto yourself. And what that requires of you is to drop the masculine energy side of you for a minute. I'm not saying get rid of your masculine energy, but there are so many women that are on overdrive in their masculinity. And all masculinity is, if you listen to this podcast, then you kind of know. But it's really like it's forcing, it's taking action, it's going after things, it's manipulating things, it's trying to get things, it's chasing, it's this energy that is draining, that will lead to burnout, exhaustion, and overwhelm. It's taking it back, pulling back the reins, slowing down a little bit and dropping into yourself, dropping into your softness, dropping into your body and sort of observing and studying and focusing on you instead of focusing on everything outside of you, right? You're not trying to make things happen anymore. You're creating things to happen for you by attracting them to you because you're focusing on up-leveling your own energy. When you become the main character of your life, you're taking accountability and responsibility for the way that your life is played out. You're no longer a victim. You're moving the focus on your inner work, and you're falling in love with the process of doing that inner work, where life becomes really fun, life becomes really juicy, life becomes really blissful. And you'll begin to notice that instead of having to go make things happen or force things to happen, they naturally happen for you. You shift. There's this quote that it's like, life is not happening to you, it's actually happening for you. And when that clicks for you and you really get that, you soften and you slow down. You drop resistance. Things begin to be fun. You let yourself fall in love. It's like the process of falling in love with your soulmate, right? It's falling in love with yourself and your life, and creating a life that feels so good and is so beautiful and is so wonderful. You can't help but be in love and feel in love all the time. And when you feel in love with your life, you feel that just gratitude that comes from being so in love with your life and yourself. You're the main character of your movie, and then you manifest everything else to fall in love with you too. So then you'll notice things start becoming attracted to you. Like if you're going for a job, all of a sudden you get job offers from multiple people. All of a sudden you can't keep the dates from coming your way. All of a sudden you can't keep your husband or your partner from saying, what is new with you? What is going on with her? Like they become intrigued. There's this mystery to you that people want to come like a moth to a flame to. Because you're just full of that self-love. You're full of what that feels like. You're madly in love with everything in your reality, but your only reality is within you. You don't look at the outside world. You don't look at the things around you. And a big part of that shift, when you move that shift internally, you start becoming unbothered because you're not worried about who said this to you, who did this to you, what friend may have said something to you that bothered you. It doesn't even really bother you at all, and it doesn't really occur to you because you are so shifted internally. Outside things no longer are able to penetrate your walls or penetrate your bubble, penetrate your main character energy. That main character energy, it has this like imaginary bubble around you. My girlfriend Kara likes to call it your pink champagne bubble, and you're just like living in that world. Things don't penetrate that bubble the harder and the deeper that you are in love with yourself, in love with your life, in love with what you're creating, in love with everything going on in your world. Because you're focused on your inner world. You're not focused on your outer world. Okay. So how do we get there? How do we become the main character energy? How do we fall in love with ourselves and in our lives? There's a lot of components that go to it, but I'm going to kind of break it down for you with some steps here and some things that you can do, like actionable steps you can start doing if you want to shift yourself into full self-love. Number 1, understand manifestation. I, of course, will invite you into the House of Bliss, Manifest Bliss membership, because you will get immediate access to so many things to dive into and to begin going within, to begin taking care of yourself. You manifest what you are an energetic match for, right? Your energy is generated by your actions, by the things that you're doing. So as you're kind of moving in this up level, you're kind of moving in this like taking more care of yourself, investing in yourself, you're going to start manifesting the things, the people, the circumstances, the situations that are in alignment with like this up level that you're on, right? Especially all the girls inside the membership are so great. They'll support you. Manifestation requires clarity and aligned action. You have to know what you want and be willing to go after it, right? You have to get clear on like what it is, like the woman you want to be. It's a whole exercise we do when you first get in the membership. You get clear on the woman you want to be, and then you start taking action to get there. Because if you don't have a vision of what you want, it will be harder for you to have that inertia to get you going, right? So you want to hold a vision of the woman that you are becoming, the woman that you want. The people that you want to align with will come towards her. The people who are alike that will begin to flow towards you. You will instantly change your life. So as you're doing that, I want you to journal about what you want. I want you to dream big. I want you to write out like detailed list of what your life will look like, your relationships will look like, the things you're involved in. Get specific in how they will support you, your interests, your personality traits. Number 2, I want you to invest in raising your energetic vibration. Okay, this is reading the books, taking the courses, watching the videos, listening to the podcast. So I'm sure you're doing this as you're listening to this podcast, right? I want you to go to the next step. Maybe the next step for you is getting in a course. Maybe the next step for you is getting in the membership. Maybe the next step for you is joining a gym or volunteering at a new organization or updating your resume. Like, get kind of clear on your next thing that you will invest in that will raise your vibration, that will raise your internal vibration. All of this that you're doing, I want it to fill up your time. I want all of these new positive things, the courses, the classes, the groups, the activities, the working out. I want you to fill up your life with this. I want this to make you so full, not too busy and overworked to where things are draining you and you can't take it anymore. I want you to fill up your life with things that nourish you and make you feel good. When you are spending your time binging out on Netflix or going out to happy hours or shopping all day, or maybe doing things that aren't really serving you in self-love and that up level, all it's doing is distracting you from what you want to create and from where you want to go and sort of getting in that vibe. So this is how you can ask yourself and test yourself. Am I in love with every aspect of my life? Am I appreciative? I can sit in gratitude and I'm madly in love with everything around me, everything I'm experiencing. If not, then I want you to go back to this work. I want you to go back to that main character energy. I want you to go back to up-leveling the home, getting in the courses, meeting the new friends, or joining the gym, like doing the things where you are spending your time not on distractions, but on the things that are going to pour into you, that are going to expand your container of love. When you are pouring so much into that internal space, your internal self, you're doing the inner work, just imagine that there is a vessel in your heart that just is expanding. It's making your balloon bigger. Imagine there's this internal balloon and you're doing all of these good things for yourself and you continue opening up your balloon and you're expanding your inner balloon. Imagine that balloon is empty and it only has room to fill. So when you are blowing your internal balloon by all those self-love things, right? All the things that you're doing to better yourself, you are only expanding your capacity to receive more love, more money, more things. So if you aren't calling in the things that you want in a bigger capacity, you have to fill up that internal balloon a little bit bigger, a little bit more. That means take your focus off of life's distractions, off of the TV, the things that distract you, and pour them back into yourself and create that inner bubble that is so big and so ready for filling up with more of the things that make you feel incredible. You should feel madly in love with your life. I'm not saying every day is perfect or that everything needs to be perfect, but I will say this. When you are so full of self-love and self-worth and that incredible love for your life, and you feel just in love with yourself, in love with your life, the things outside of you will not affect you. They will not affect you. The rejection doesn't affect you. The abandonment doesn't scare you. The fear of money, it doesn't exist. Like all of these things that normally affect you, that knock you off, don't affect you anymore. They're not happening anymore. And when they don't affect you, they don't like come into your life. You don't align with them anymore. Self-love shifts that. It doesn't make you an energetic match to the things that bother you. So when things are coming in, people say something, it affects you. You don't get a job, that affects you. You have a relationship that doesn't work out, and it affects you. Life affects us. As we fill ourselves up with self-love, things lose their ability to affect you. And when that happens, you become a match for everything that you want. It's crazy. It's wild. And I promise you, it's a beautiful process. So again, thank you for being with me in this self-love series. It has been such a fun sort of process for me to share and break down. If you like this and want to dive in more, come join us inside the Manifest Bliss membership. You will learn all of this and more and take it all so much deeper. And we'll get to hang out live. You'll get free coaching. It's just this amazing experience. I have the Blissful Babe bundle, the Blissful Babe Blueprint, and it's 3 of my courses at a way discounted rate because you're bundling them all together and you can begin diving into that next level work. So if that feels like something that you might want to do, it's really, really good and I'm obsessed with it. So thank you for listening. If you feel like somebody needs to hear this series, please feel free to forward this to a friend, to share this. The best compliment you could give me would be a 5-star review. That also helps me get the word out there and make this podcast visible to other people. I love you guys so much. Let me know you're listening on Instagram or come say hi on TikTok. You can email me. You guys know I love connecting with you. I've loved meeting all of my new listeners. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I hope this episode starts your May off on a beautiful note, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Until next time, stay blissful.